What's up, ONYXCON fam? This is Joseph R. Wheeler III, the artist, the founder, and the president of the ONYXCON Foundation, welcoming you to a very special content today. This one here is really cool. I know it's cool because I'm cool, and we do cool things here at ONYXCON, but check this out, y'all. Everybody's losing their mind right now because of what's been going on with VERZUZ. If you're not familiar with what VERZUZ is, it's something that Swizz Beatz and Timbaland, two amazing producers in the hip-hop R&B spectrum especially, created. I mean, they've done way more, but that's what they're known for. Started what is known as VERZUZ, and they spell it with Z's, because that's that hip-hop vibe, baby. That's how we do all day. So, this thing has become an absolute phenom. Every time VERZUZ comes on, you're hitting millions of views. Millions of views. The whole world is watching VERZUZ every time it comes out, because let's face it, black music is the catalyst for all music. Black arts inspire so much. So when the best of black artists come together to celebrate, that's the word I love that they use so much. They say it's not a fight. I know we promote it like it's a battle, and it is a battle in the sense that we're going track for track, who had the best albums, who had the best hits, who gets the people moving when they get nostalgic and say, oh my gosh, I remember where I was when I heard that, and they lose their mind and the crowd goes wild, and then, that's what it's all about. It's all about the fun of that. But at the end of the day, they say it's a celebration. And I love that they keep saying that, because that keeps it positive, and that keeps all the nonsense of true beef starting and people getting crazy, right? So let me start this off by saying, okay, why am I wearing the Haitian flag? Shout out to Haiti. Sac passe, Mabule. What's up, my peoples? I got a lot of friends. I am not directly Haitian, but I feel a kinship to my peoples wherever they may be in the diaspora. And I speak that of the entire world diaspora of many ethnicities coming out of the motherland, Africa. But I'm starting off with one of my concepts that has to do with that, so that's why I have it on. And I just love the flag too. It's a beautiful flag. So no, bottom line is, there's a lot of people saying, well, what could be the next greatest VERZUZ, right? Somebody did a poster and had Drake versus Kanye. I said, I could see that. I mean, I could see that. Like, I'm not like the biggest fan of each. I got my Drake tracks, I got my Kanye tracks, I got my ones that you turn them on, I cannot front. I'm like, that's my joint, you know what I mean? As far as continued respect for the way the individual presents themselves in society as a pop star, as a celebrity, whatever, I got a little bit more respect for Drake at this point in his life. Kanye just kind of went too crazy for me, but it is what it is. He's still brilliant. I can't front on that. His catalog is what would be on the battle, right? So that would be insane. Like, that right there would be, come on, that's two of the biggest of the big pop stars ever, and right now still. So I can see that. And I want to say too that, the way we relate this to the core of what ONYXCON is about. I mean, first of all, we are broad. We started as what was only known as a comic book convention, but we were always intending to be so much more for the arts in general, and always related to the popular arts, okay? So the music, you can't separate the music when you talk of anything in black culture, point blank, period. When you talk of hip hop, you cannot separate comic book culture, anime, all these different things, animation before just the obsession with Japanese animation, but just animation as a whole, what we grew up on, the cartoons, you feel me? The comic books, everything that we love, you cannot separate. This is how people come up with their names as an artist. This is how people came up with their identity as an artist. It is all tied together. So and then on top of it, the concept of a battle, the way these are orchestrated, it all still goes back to the root of people sitting around and saying, oh man, I bet you Spider-Man could beat up Batman, you know what I mean? And all that kind of stuff. That's what it is. That's what this is in a musical way, and that's what makes it fun, and that's why people lose their mind when they see the best matches, right? Shout out to the Locks and Dipset. That was insane. At first I didn't quite understand the matchup, because I lived through that era. I understood the timing of it, but I couldn't, because a lot of times they'll pull from actual beefs and stuff, and if people are cool enough to get on stage now and be right and act right and do a real fun concert. But it was just a different situation. And of course, Jadakiss I've seen everything from memes of him as Thanos and every other superhero you can think of. So, you know, obviously it's for a reason when you see the way he just went off. The best part is real freestyle in the midst of a battle that is usually all lip synced. And he made that point. And I think that's going to change the way Versus keeps coming with these, that people are going to have to perform. Not to say that others previously have not. Plenty of people have gave us straight up concerts, you know, with instrumentation, not just letting the track play, you know, and that's amazing. That's what we need. That's what we want, right? And more of it anyway. I don't mind. Cue the track up, DJ. That's an art of its own too. You know, give the selector respect to the selector, right? Play the music, DJ. Bring that down. Bring that down. You know, we get all that, right? But still, it makes a difference when you're out there playing music. Oh my gosh. And so speaking of such, I started thinking of a bunch of really break the internet down for weeks. I don't need that to really happen, but I know it would with the stuff I'm about to tell y'all, right? So we're gonna start off, and this is reason why I'm gonna salute Ayiti, and then I'm gonna keep moving. Okay. I thought of DJ Khaled. We the best music, okay? We the best, okay? He done already told you. You talking about anybody step to Khaled at this point in his career, and everybody he knows and everybody he's worked with, and how much respect he's got in the game. It's like, who could they put up against Khaled? And the first person popped in my mind was Timbaland, but then Timbaland's up. He's the orchestrator along with Swiss Beats. That is Versus. That wouldn't even be fair, right? But it's almost the only person I thought. And then I said, whoa. Who's a performer and a producer? And as a producer, still has that kind of clout, but also in his heyday, in the 90s and 2000s, was literally the king of producers that many people wanted to work with, along with a few others, but he was one of those ones, like the way Khaled is now. I said, Sac passe ma boule, Wyclef Jean. Think about that. Marinate on that. Marinate on the program. Some of y'all said, oh my God, that would be absolutely right on time and insane. What? Wyclef Jean versus We the Best Music DJ Khaled. Oh my God, man. Miami alone might explode. Because both of them get so much love in Miami. You know, Wyclef got the Haitian connection, period. All of Haiti would rise up like whatever, anywhere on the earth. And then Miami is the other Haiti, so it's just like, and then Khaled lives in Miami, I think, and of course he's got all his connections down there. Everybody know him and love him there. It's like, and then just in the music, period, what they are to the industry. Wave your flag, wave your flag, wave your flag, wave your flag. So, let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. Concept for concept, blow for blow, who I think would be the all-time greatest. Shut the internet down. I repeat, shut the internet down. Wyclef Jean. Get your seat. Jean, okay? And we the best music. DJ Khaled. That right there. It's the unexpected blow. I know I'm paid. Timbo, Swiss Beats, I know y'all looking at the internet. I know y'all got people looking at the internet. Y'all huge at this point. Y'all ain't got to do it. You never had to do it for yourself. But I'm saying, whoever your people are, if somebody sees this and says, oh my gosh, man, this one guy, this dude that runs ONYXCON, man. What's ONYXCON? Y'all need to know. Yo, it's a nonprofit, 501c3. Oh, send him a check. Send him a check, because we're going to do that. I'm saying it already. Thank you. Because everything I'm about to say on here is pure the best. I haven't seen anybody else say some of the stuff I'm saying. Some of the things I'm going to say are just pretty obvious. Like, come on, if y'all don't do that, come on, you got to do that. Figure out a way. Now, first and foremost, I understand business. I run a business. I run multiple businesses, so I understand the ins and outs of making these phone calls, getting in touch. And I love to hear the after interviews where people explain the process of how friends just call friends up. Like, yeah, Timbo hit me up. Swizz hit me up. I was like, yeah, I want to do it. You know, I said, well, what's the numbers? Or whatever they getting. And, you know, like, just watch the Locks interview on Breakfast Club. Again, shout out to the Locks. I love the way they handled themselves on that. That was a great interview, y'all. For real, for real. I actually enjoyed the interview almost 50-50 with the best parts of the actual thing. I'm still watching bits and pieces of the actual verses. I haven't made it through the whole thing. It's insane. Like, always looking for the best ones with the best sound, because that's the other thing. Boy, dude, these replays murder the sound. Sometimes I said, it sounded like this. I mean, it's already bad enough to some of these guys. Dipset, y'all hilarious. Like, every time they would start going, y'all don't know. That's all I can hear. That's all I can hear. But the likes, they would be a little hype at the beginning. Play my track. But as soon as it start, Jada or whoever be like, we gon' make it. We gon' make it. We gon' make it. You can hear it, and I love that. By the way, that's like my favorite all-time Locks joint right there. That one right there, because I mean, it's the anthem. It's that motivation, man. I love the motivation tracks. That's my joints. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm gonna start off big. You know what I'm saying? I'm the guy when you're playing spades with me. You better well look out. Me and my partner, they're gonna be scared of you're gonna be scared of me in the four-way. Throw them spades. If we playing spades, I'm dropping one just to let you know I got heat, just to scare you. I may not have nothing else but 2 more spades, but I'm gonna play it so raw at the beginning, you're gonna think I done messed around. I'm about to run a Boston on you. You feel me? Okay. If you don't know the lingo, you gotta look it up. I'm talking about the card game space. You gotta get into the cultures and understand where I'm coming from here, all right? I don't say the culture for the culture. I'm sorry, y'all. I know that's the trend. Everybody does trendy stuff. I'm not the trendy guy. I am the innovator. I am the originator. Whatever I do may be a mix of a lot of things coming together, but by the time I get it, it's coming out me. Okay? All right. So, because everybody don't even play spades the same way. I could have started talking about high joker, low joker, and some folk will be like, you play with the jokers? See what I'm saying? See, cultures. There's multiple ways to do things. So anyway, some folk play with the diamonds, and I don't like that. I don't do that. I don't know why I'm talking about this so much, but I'm making my point. I come out hitting hard. So here we go. Folk been talking about it forever. Ever since there was the so-called beef. You got the 3-way beef, right? Drake. Some folk already messed up because I done said the name of Drake. You know. Kendrick Lamar. J. Cole. You know we fish here at UNTICLED. I'm just reeling them in. Oh, there they go. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Send the check. Timbo. Swiss Beats. Send the check. That man right there. And I know I ain't saying that ain't nobody else already said but that. But here's the 3-way split. So you already know you can't get Drake in it unless you made him a surprise guest. The real battle is Kendrick versus Cole. This is break the internet. This is have to create a whole nother internet just for verses. This is really like have to create a whole nother something just for verses. I mean, he's already got, you know, verses is going to, if they haven't already, going public. Like, I need some verses stock, like, for real. They are there. Wow. Just the thought of this makes me smile from the back of my neck to the front. Not ear to ear. Way back here smiling, because I know what this would do. Kendrick versus Cole, special guest Drake. Just imagine that. Okay. So I'm gonna let that one simmer right there. All I'm gonna end with, I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say, but you know, I mean, like, Kendrick, like, I love Cole. Cole got respect for me. I like Cole. Kendrick, just personally, K-Dot all day. K-Dot all day. Kung Fu Kenny all day. Kendrick, man. Pulitzer Prize winning Kendrick. One of Compton's greatest. All right. And of course, I got another one for y'all on that level. I'm going to save that one for the very end. So let's get into a few more. Now I'm going to switch gears on you, right? Because to my knowledge, right, I haven't heard of, like I said, I haven't seen all of these. I haven't seen all of all of the verses deal, right? Not seen all of them, right? Now, if anyone want to give me a critique on my attempt at speaking a little bit of patois here, I'm mostly focusing on my accent, and hopefully that is enough realistic that you understand me doing a Jamaican accent right now in honor of Jamaica, because I have to say, I think it's time, right? I think it's time, man, that Versus do some island flavor. They need to broaden this thing out, right? I want them to always bring it home to the American artists and make sure we get our proper say and love in this thing, but we can make it truly a worldwide, international type of thing, you know? For all of the fandom American have for all these other groups of peoples and nations that we love that are part of the nation. We got so many Jamaicans right here in America and all over the world. I know if they do what I'm about to say, another break the internet moment. Break it, man. Break it for the woman. Them gonna love this. Woman, stand up right now. Tell the world you love this when they say it, okay? Here it go. You look at the spectrum, right? Of everyone who done had a sound clash in Jamaica, see? And the biggest of the biggest ever. There's so many. I looked back at an article so I could see who was the best of all time, who's been the best, the most crazy arrivals that no one saw coming, or the ones people saw them coming, and then they have a big mashup on the stage, and it's incredible, and then they have all this beef and stuff going on and crazy thing all around it, right? Unfortunately, that be the bad part, right? We don't need no more bad stuff with it, right? We don't need no more rough ride, you know? No more ragamuffin energy around it. Serious though. We need people to find the way back to the meaning of verses and always about love and respect for one another, right? At the end of all of these, they always need to be hugging it out, man. They always need to be telling the people them it was all for the art. For the arts. Just want to make that clear before me say this, okay? Because I know what I'm about to say is going to get the air guns pumping, folk blasting the air with the big gun them, blasting the air, you know what I'm saying, like more fire. No, I'm not about to say me man Capleton, even though he's one of my favorite of all time. I don't even know who could go up against Capleton. I'm not even going to say Capleton. This could be another special guest, maybe. But here's the battle. Being a man versus Bounty Killer. Ooh. Jamaicans just lost them damn mind. Oh my gosh, man. The woman said, kiss me neck, you know what I'm saying, man? This is real talk, me say. This is real talk, me saying right now, see? You do this, you go and kill the internet. Burn them up. Smash it, burn it down, man. Let me tell you, they're gonna lose them damn mind. Swiss Beats, Timbaland, make this happen. Me know it's already been said. I know somebody on your committee already looking at the greatest real life beefs of all time, and them say, do we have a connect? Do we have a connect? I know you know everybody. Somebody know somebody who knows somebody. Sit next to the man, sit next to the man, sit next to the big man, right? Make that happen. Or big woman, whoever in charge, man. No disrespect, right? We want to see this. Being a man versus Bounty Killer. That's all I got to say to them. Jamaica, stand up. I make myself laugh, yo. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I always enjoy when I get in my zone and do my accents. I know all my Jamaican friends having a fit. Oh gosh, and aficionados of when I do that, because I got a fan club of people who like when I do it, so I appreciate y'all. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that, that's all I'm saying. Okay, but let's still stay a little bit on Jamaica for a minute, because the next one I'm gonna mention, Busta Rhymes, I still gotta say it with a little bit of accent, Busta Rhymes. Right there you're almost like, dang, what do you... The thing about Busta for me, because everybody celebrates Busta, everybody loves Busta, but everybody didn't grow up on the music when he first arrived. Some people don't even know he was part of a group called LONS, the Leaders of the New School, that was put together by Public Enemy's Chuck D. That's a whole nother one. I love Public Enemy. And I don't even know. I was thinking like, who could they couldn't even do that. It would be like Public Enemy versus itself. Like straight up. Like it would literally have to be, I don't know, Public Enemy up to the point of American and worldwide fame, to the point of when, you know, they went through their struggle. Flavor Flav for his issues with drug addiction and stuff, or, you know, had to split up with Professor Griff and all of that. I know I'm going on a tangent. I'm coming back. I really am. But, you know, and then they started making music that would be considered underground because they lost the label connection. As a result, they kept making albums, but they were more known internationally. They could tour internationally and still be the legends they deserve to be forever and a day. To me, the greatest hip-hop group of all time. Yes, I said it. As far as a group goes, the most influential and greatest hip-hop group of all time. Public Enemy. That's my joint. That's my peeps. P.E. Forever and a Day, Chuck D, Griff, Flav, the S1Ws, Terminator X, DJ Lord, the whole squad, okay? That's the Trill Tro best of the best group of all time. I don't care who you say, because anybody else gonna come after them anyway. Yes, Wu-Tang is the ish forever, but if there were no Public Enemy, there would be no Wu. If there were no, you could, I don't care who you name. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care who you name in a group. They all came after or were influenced by in the same time. Public Enemy. Youngsters, go listen. And I ain't talking about a couple of tracks. I'm talking about go listen to whole albums. They're on YouTube. You can find everything. Just about everything is a whole album out there for all the old stuff. That's all I got to say about that. So to bring it back around, and see, and all this is relevant. It may seem, I go on tangents naturally, but all of this is relevant because people like Busta Rhymes would not exist if it were not for Public Enemy. Like I say, Chuck D put that group together, the leaders of the new school. And then even though they broke up at one point, and that's when Busta went solo and everybody else started going their separate ways, and some people still did solo projects and stuff. Go back and listen to LONS. All their albums, from when they were very young and crazy and wild, goofy kids with crazy, wild, just, they were so New York and just out there with their first album and just being wild city kids. But then see the grown men they were becoming on some esoteric, crazy, intergalactic, metaphysical, scientifical. I still do not fully, I'm still analyzing this album to this day. The Inner Mind's Eye, go listen to The Inner Mind's Eye. Sometimes I just put that album on just to sit there and say, this is all the way ahead of its time. Like they should, I don't know if they could do a versus reunion, like LONS reunion something, and I don't know. I think there's other ways versus gonna have to evolve where it's not always just about somebody versus somebody else. And I'm getting to that with a lot of these concepts I'm gonna say on here. I think you have some groups that are so big, some crews that are so big, you could have inner versus because of the splits they had and just have people go up against each other in segments of the show to make a point about the history. But at the end, always end on the celebration and to hug it out and there's nothing but love. You know what I mean? Row, row, like a dungeon dragon, change your little pants cause you, oh my gosh, sagging, hit you with the, oh my gosh, you know, all in the camera, all that stuff that he introduced. And I said, who could go up? And the first person came in my mind. I'm gonna give you two options, but the last one is gonna be my final choice. The first one is this, Twista. And this may have happened before, I can't remember, but something makes me think somebody did something with that years and years ago, like the fastest rhyming rap, you know, but they're actually saying words, like they slow it down, like they're actually pronouncing these words, but they're going crazy, right? Okay. And a lot of rappers can do that. A lot of great MCs, because they're, you know, there's rappers and then there's MCs. They rap. They are rappers, but they are MCs. Storytellers, brilliant battle rhymers, brilliant concept creators, full new genre creators. That's why people gotta respect, you know, the legacy and the catalog of a Busta Rhymes, you know what I mean? Czar was off the chain, by the way. Love Czar. Czar, that new album is insane. Jun, 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 jun. And the new, oh my God, that video, M.O.P. That's a whole nother versus right there. I don't even know who, the what you could put up. There's a lot of crazy New York groups. Let me think about that one. I might come back around to that. M.O.P. See, I'm just getting ideas. Okay, here it is. Busta Rhymes, the only person I can think of. You know, it's such a male-dominated industry with hip-hop, even though there's so many legendary ladies that deserve just as much, if not more, in some categories. They're right, they're just due. And then it hit me. I said, there's only one. And it's not a dude. There's only one other human being, as a queen, as a lady, a real woman that could step in front of Busta Rhymes and have a chance in a versus. And it would be a love fest, because I'm sure they're good friends. I know they gotta be friends in real life. Everybody know everybody, the best of the best, the top folk, the kings and the queens bill. You know what I'm saying? The gods and the earth's bill. Speaking of 5% of piece there, because Busta's got that in his history. You put Busta with Missy Elliott. Notice I didn't even say verse, I said with. Because you talking about the celebration, the spirit of verses, that would be it. They got the same type of energy. They got the same kind of creativity, out the box, over the top, sci-fi, fantasy elements in all of their videos, superhero concepts in all their videos. People remember these videos generationally. Even the new generation knows who these people are enough to sit down and say, whoa, what is this, right? And folks in my age group would just be like, man, I don't know. Folks be called out sick to work for weeks and just like begging to work at home if they're not already working at home, because that's all they would be doing is watching this over and over. Busta versus Busta with Queen Missy Elliott. I'm done. There you go. Okay. Got a lot more to tell y'all. I'm trying to edit myself so I can get them all in. Sometimes it's actual beef in real life. People had real beefs, like the whole, Young Jeezy versus Gucci Mane thing, and how that was one of the biggest of all time, right? It happened right here in Atlanta, Magic City. Shout out to Magic City. Shout out to Mr. Magic. How you doing, Magic? I know people who know people that know me, that we know things in Atlanta. So I just want to know, I'm just saying, I know how that came together, literally. And it's just amazing that it even happened. So, and I'm no street cat or nothing like that, but I know people in all circles, and all circles respect me. So, yeah, that was amazing. That was freaking amazing that they even did that, And they could just come together as two grown men, whoever is on stage, and have a freaking party. I mean, but it wasn't like what happened in Madison Square Garden. Good gosh, with the locks and Dipset. That was insane. I mean, like, the Garden? It speaks to the money. It speaks to where they're at right now, which is beautiful to see. But we're still in a pandemic, y'all. Don't fool yourself. That's number one. All them damn people, I don't care what they, no, that's too much. That's too much. That's too much. And it's too iffy from what I'm seeing. Like, watch Fat Joe's commentary of being there. Shout out to Fat Joe. I love watching his show on the internet. It's hilarious. Fat Joe is hilarious. The brother, he's smart, but he's funny and he's real. And that's a whole nother, but I don't even want to say who I could think of would go against Joe. But I just think that's another one waiting to happen. I'll just say that. Okay, so let's get back to it. Because of the real beef factor, I thought of some of the greatest real beefs that have happened in my lifetime. Stuff I saw happen, stuff that created part of or led to some of the energy of a West Coast versus East Coast. And let me say earlier before I say that, I don't want to see any ever return to that type of ridiculousness in any part of the culture, because that was very, very detrimental. LL Cool J. Oh, see, the ladies just lost their mind. Ladies just lost their mind. Versus the OG of OGs. The OG of OGs. The originator of so much in what was labeled gangster rap, you know? Real conscious gangster rap. Not no braggadocious, make it seem like it's all sweet. No, take you through hell and drop you in the grave or in prison because it ain't leading nowhere. And that was always his message, no matter what role play he put into his music. That's why I respect him so much. The Don, the Godfather, Ice-T. Ice-T versus LL. This happened. This really was like some beefs in hip hop are like, they're like Cold Wars, you know, the stuff that goes on covert, where it's just spies and secret missions between nations that, you know, still affects people, but civilians barely know in mass that it's happening because there's a bunch of explosions and a lot of out-live fights. It was kind of covert when it happened. If I remember right, it lasted a few albums, if that, between the two of them putting out stuff. And it wasn't like they wasted a whole album talking about each other. It would have been one track. Okay, I said this, you know what I meant. I was talking about you. And I said this, and you know what I was talking about. Everybody knew what I was talking about, and that was about you. You know, and then the rest of the album, I got other business to handle. You know what I mean? It was that kind of thing. And they squashed it, you know, way back. And I think as both of them are celebrities in TV and movies, and some people don't even know that they ever had a hip-hop career. That's insane. But like, I saw Ice-T put up something the other day. I follow him on Instagram, saying it makes him laugh. This is not a quote, but paraphrasing. He said something to the fact that people crack me up when they say Ice-T is a rapper, and he had pictures of all his album covers. Like, he said, I put out a few things, and I was like, TV and humble, and please, Ice-T is the dude, y'all. Y'all don't understand right now. That's my dude. And LL is just some real, I think that would do some things. That would do some things. LL would bring young and old, and Ice-T would make young wake up and old would be in the house. Like, everybody who's somebody in hip hop that has been a part of quote unquote gangster rap in any way, shape, form, fashion would be there. Or would be celebrating this and knowing what this means. And this would be a true just, man, that would be it. That's all I gotta say about that. They need to do that. They need to do that. So, DJ Quick, who has history of being of blood affiliation, and MC8 having Crip affiliation. These two here, when that, man, this right here could be like, this could do like what, after the Rodney King riots, brought those two groups together like never before, and mostly, not all, but mostly. This could be like when Nipsey passed, and the love and all the solidarity and truth that was being spoken of. This could do it. This could do it again. You know, and it would be a true, again, what VERZUZ says they're about, celebration of the music. Because at some point, I'm sure after they play a few tracks or get into it a little bit, they would be focused on, man, as two producers, both of them producers and MC, what they put into their music, what they came up with, and how influential they were with different soundtracks, different albums, different singles, different work they did for other people. MC8 with DJ Quick. DJ Quick with MC8 versus make it happen. All right, y'all. We're getting close to the end. Only got a few more. All of these are major, as you can see. I don't play. I come with the real. Another real beef that got squashed in a way on a movie, thanks to his brilliance of doing it that way. You know, making it public that they had been squashed everything. Okay, it's been over. No drama, no nothing. We good. We friends. Hell, we working together. I put him in my movie. The West Coast Don, who, you know, in 2020 did some things. I'm just gonna say historically have been done, in my opinion, to, you know, other artists. James Brown went through a spell. Sammy Davis Jr. went through a spell. Kanye is still in a spell. Ice Cube you know, from what he says, because I've seen him speak on his own words of how he felt about what he did, met with the then administration to sort out his black agenda, his agenda for Black America, his contract with Black America, I think that's what the name of it is, to help better the long still standing issues of blight, economic blight, health blight, every blight you can name, you know. And because of that, he got really persecuted by fans and everybody who felt like, not you, man. How could you do this? How could you even sit with that person? How could you even, you know? And he made it clear, you know, that he never really had a meeting directly. His team met with folks or what have you, blah, blah, blah. Go look at it for yourself. This video is not to even get into that. All I'm gonna say about that is, I'm a big fan of Cube for many reasons. Especially to me, his opus, his greatest album of all time. It's hard to say, but I will say this still, to me, it was my favorite of all time amongst the many. Death Certificate. Like that album alone, to see him on a Versus queuing up some tracks from that is gonna be hell for anybody who would stand against him, right? So for the fun and the love of the music, let's talk the music. His real life beat of all time. I mean, he had many. Of course, he had his fallout with NWA and all that. But that's, you know, that's long gone. That doesn't even make sense to try and do that as a Versus. That'd just be, I mean, what would that be? I don't know. That wouldn't be nothing, you know, because Eazy's not here, rest his soul, etc. It's not even, don't even go there. But his beef with Common from Chicago. Common versus Ice Cube as a Versus. Like the original thing taken to the now. In all love. That's a battle for your ass. That's the one I want to see too. Yeah. All right, y'all. We have come to the very end. And I'm not even gonna give it further ado. I'm just gonna say it. It's always been there. It's almost like when you say we're gonna have a Versus, this is the first thing popped in too many minds all at the same time. As soon as when this thing started, this was on people's mind. But everybody was saying how. Everybody's still saying how. It ain't because the two people involved, Swiss Beats, Timbaland, can't make it happen. They friends with both. I know they are. They already got the intel. It's just they're at this place in history where, how do you do this security-wise? How do you do this venue-wise? How do you do this? You'll break the internet. Y'all ready for this? Jay-Z versus Nas. It needed a moment of silence, didn't it? I don't even know if I want to put words around that. It's just, you could just leave it right there. You could just leave it right there. Like that's all I gotta say, right? It don't get no bigger. It don't get no bigger. Cause this was real beef. They got settled. Now they friends. Now they love. They show the love. Nothing but the love. Ever since they showed the world, we was doing what we did, but we always respected each other as brothers. And we were young and dumb and had our issues, blah 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 blah. You know, and grew past it. That's gotta be the constant lesson. The celebration. The celebration. Yeah, that would do it. That would do it. That would do it. That would do it. But I'm not finished. I'm not finished. Now, I respect the roots of this art form in all of its corners, you know, the MCing, the breakdancing, the DJing, the entrepreneurialism, all the elements of hip hop. And I respect that it all really had a foundation out of various African art forms, transferred through the Caribbean, very special connection, always forefront connection to the way it's presented with Jamaican sound clash, sound DJ, chanting. All of that is the history of hip hop into this country because of so many Caribbean rooted peoples going into New York. That's that. You know, the forefathers of hip hop, majority of them had those roots or were influenced by people who had those roots. So it is what it is, right? And then there's always the Southern Black American experience. And again, everybody all the way back to Africa. So I'm saying all that to say I respect whenever they do something that's so New York focused and New York this, New York that. I get it. It needs to always send a shout out to New York. It is what it is. But I'm from ATL. And as I mentioned, the South. The inner family versus. This is the ultimate. Dungeon family. First generation versus second generation. First generation. Have you ever heard that album? The one that had Trans DF Express. Trans DF Express. Grab your ticket. Come get with it. Trans DF Express. Trans DF Express, y'all. That's yo. Yes. That album right there is your way to understand what I'm talking about for a concept. Go listen to that. The Dungeon Family album. I think it was called Even in Darkness. Correct me if I'm wrong. That album I love that album. And it introduced to the world what they knew and underground folk knew. But a lot of folk didn't know that Dungeon Family was so big that they got to the point of saying, we got generations. We got the first generation with Outkast, Goody Mob. You pretty much can stop right there. It's insane, right? Outkast, Goody Mob, PA, Parental Advisory. See, people don't know about Parental Advisory. That was another. I bought that album. That first album from them. Them boys had feel too. They had a whole nother vibe. It's a real vibe. Oh my goodness. There's so many people. Of course, you got Big Rube. You got anybody you ever heard on an Outkast album, a Goody Mob album, whether it was just an appearance, whatever, Witch Doctor, all these folks. Everybody, Sleepy Brown, the whole squad like that, right? All the production, all the DJs, all the sound, everybody, right? And then you got second generation, which I looked this up. Somebody can correct if my source was not correct, but they listed under the second generation. I knew that Future is part of it. So that alone is like, for what he is to the new generation and what he is to, just that whole sound switch of where things went when Future came out. I mean, really and truly, second generation could just have Future and a few other folks, and it would be this beautiful history of hip-hop thing, or Southern hip-hop out of ATL, and how things changed. But who else was on the list of second generation? Killer Mike. I was like, I never realized Killer was in second generation. That's enough of a monster right there. If they could not get nobody else but Future and Killer Mike versus any member of Outkast, if Dre don't want to come out, that would break my heart, but I want to see him on stage with Big Boy, of course. But I know Big Boy would do this. I feel like he would do this. Big Boy representing Outkast, or representing himself in the whole Purple Ribbon thing. And then you throw in and then you got Goody, because Goody's touring again. They doing concerts, so I know they active. You put Goody Mob up there with Big Boy Purple Ribbon versus Future and Killer Mike. I mean, add anybody else you want. I don't even care who's up there. I'm losing my mind, period, for the A. ATL. Think about it. Versus. I'm done. Y'all just marinate on all this. Peace. ONYXCON. Remember the name. Subscribe. We bringing you the real stuff. Thoughts you never thought. Things you never saw.